Got it.
All right. All right. So let's start with the intro. Welcome to the Path to Billionaire Success Stories, the podcast that takes you on a journey through the stories, strategies, and insights of remarkable individuals who have achieved greatness in their field. I'm your host, Ben Pietrowski, and together we'll unravel the secrets, challenges, and triumphs that pave the way to success. Join us every week as we uncover the principles that can help you overcome obstacles, embrace change, and harness your potential. Get ready to be motivated, challenged, and empowered to embark on your very own path to success. Remember, success is not a destination, it's a journey. So buckle up and get ready to explore. Today, I'm joined with Cody Fontenot. Hope I said that correctly. Cody, want to give us a brief intro to yourself and tell people what you're working on recently?
Hey guys, my name is Cody Fontenot. I live in Louisiana. Just a real quick catch up on who I am. I used to be in the Air Force, got out of the Air Force, got my doctorate in pharmacy, was a pharmacist for a while, got out of pharmacy recently to focus on two major things: business, real estate. Right now, I was invited with Ben to come out here and just talk to you guys and just share you with success stories and show you just how difficult and how simple it is to be successful.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for joining us. And we'll just jump right into this. What does success mean to you personally, Cody?
That's a difficult question to answer. And for most people, success is going to change as their life changes. For example, let me just throw a couple out there. Most people think success is money. Well, let's do that. Let's do an example. Become a millionaire. A lot of people have that goal. They think that's a success. Ask anybody who's made $1 million and then ask them what they think success is. Make 2 million. Okay, now you make 2 million. 5 million. Okay, now you make 5 million, 10, 20, a billion. You keep going forward and forward. Success is not a number of money. Okay, a lot of people misunderstand that. Success is not a number of money. All money is a tool. Success is more important. I'll give you the best example of success that I've heard of from a guy who's well off. He's not at a billion, but he's pretty high up there. His example was he defines success because his children who are grown up want to come home to visit. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Now, I'm a 10X coach and I train people. I help transform people and businesses. The three things that I teach is health, wealth, and relationships. And of the three, that's the one he just mentioned. Health is important. You need to know health. You need to have health success stories and targets and goals. Wealth is important. You need to have targets and goals for wealth. But relationships, that's where success is found. Grant Cardone says it all the time. He says your net worth is equal to your net work.
Right.
So for me personally, it is the harnessing of friendship and family, cultivating those and uplifting those. That's success.
That's powerful. That is powerful. I love that. Relationships, people don't put enough weight to them. They don't put enough value to those relationships. And that's powerful to hear that is what you define success as. I love that.
Thank you.
What achievements or milestones have you accomplished that you consider successful moments in your life?
Not as many as most. I did go into the Air Force. I did well in the Air Force, got accolades and medals and that kind of stuff. I did become a pharmacist. That was quite a challenging journey. It was a 7-year journey to get that degree. I was manager of multiple pharmacies and picked all their numbers up. The last one I was at, I picked their percents up to 52% in 1 year. Increased their revenue and their patients coming in the door by 52% in 1 year.
Wow.
So that's successes. But overall, I don't know if I would define myself as a successful person because my goals are up here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that we have to be careful of. I mean, you have it behind you, you say path to a billionaire. Got to be careful. The path is beautiful. The destination will elude you.
Mm, right. Right. That is true. That is true. So you're still on that journey as far as your big successes that you want, but you've been successful in the path that you've been on so far. That's
Yes, sir.
that's awesome.
Here's a success. I own a marketing company. The industry average, a client will come in for 6 weeks for a marketing company. I have not lost a single person. Everyone who signs up with our company re-signs up with our company.
Wow. Wow. That says a lot. That's saying that you're bringing value, you're giving them what they're asking for, and it's working. So that is awesome. Keep up the good work. Awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Um, what role do you believe that luck or timing has played in achieving success?
You have to have luck. Okay. That's just part of the game. You just have to have luck. You can just look at football for that. Any football game you watch, or any sport you watch, there will be a small element of luck that's involved. For example, they kick the ball lands in front, it's about to bounce right into my arms, but it takes this funky bounce and bounces over there. And then the team that's losing recovers the ball. That's the momentum shift. They end up winning the game. That's luck. That's literally as the ball bounces luck.
Right.
So it doesn't hurt to have some luck. In fact, the more successful you are, the more lucky you are. But here's a key feature. It's not blind luck. It's prepared luck.
Okay.
Luck favors the prepared.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, that's awesome. That to look at it that way, because everybody says similar sentiments that I've talked to. It's all a matter of how you prepare, things like that. But I like that you're looking at it as prepared luck, as you're working for this, but certain things do happen to that are lucky in your favor, but you've put yourself in those positions to accept those lucks. I like that.
Yep. Now that was the first question. The second one was timing.
Mm-hmm.
Timing is absolutely crucial. 100%. Here's why. Do you know the story, The Big Short, the movie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember the main guy, the Michael Burr?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So he shorted the market.
Right.
In that movie, if you haven't seen that movie, I strongly recommend you watch it for the audience. In that movie, his bosses come in, the people with the big money, they come in and say, hey, you know, this isn't good. Give us our money back. He said, I may have been early, but I'm not wrong. And the boss said, they're the same thing. You can be right, but if your timing is off, you're wrong.
Right.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
So you basically have to have your feelers out there, feeling all the different ebbs and flows of whatever industry you're in. For example, now would be probably a pretty bad time to start a record company, an 8-track company, a cassette tape company, etc. A CD company, a DVD player company.
Right. Yeah.
Those times have come and gone. So timing is crucial, but in order to know timing, you have to be well versed in that industry. You have to have mentors. You have to have people that you trust. You have to have people that you don't trust. What are they doing? Remember, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. Understand that all of that plays into it, because nothing is guaranteed. Nothing. You have to make an educated guess on whether or not this particular path that you're going to be on is the path to be on. And it might turn out great, might turn out terrible.
That is true. That is true. But you gotta take that chance anyways and just try. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that is true.
If you try and fail, there's a probability that you'll fail. a probability that you'll be successful, that there's attributes that you're going to have to measure out.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't try, I guarantee you're going to fail.
Right. Right. Well, that's actually going to lead right into the next question I'm going to ask then. What do you think, do you think there's a connection between failure and a success?
If you're not failing, you're not going to be successful.
Very true. Very true.
Everybody, we're our age group, and especially the people younger than us, we're brought into this mindset. I call it the microwave mindset. I take my cup of coffee, I stick it in a microwave, 15 seconds, 20 seconds later, I pull it out, it's nice and hot. Good to go. That's success, right?
Right.
That's what we think success is.
Right.
We think that we can put it in a microwave, push a button, have it done, and pull it out. We don't understand that it's going to take an enormous amount of time, energy, and money. Time, energy, money before you're successful. And in these three, you're going to be failing along the path. You hear it from Grant Cardone and others. They say, fail forward.
Right.
Well, that's great advice.
Right.
Don't expect success. Don't expect that this is going to work out. But when you fail, keep going forward.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, you will be successful. It's inevitable.
Right.
Did you know that most millionaires have bankrupt 3 times?
No, I did not know that.
At one point, that was a stat. I don't know if that's still a stat anymore, but I know that one point that was a stat. Most millionaires, most millionaire business owners had bankrupt 3 times prior. Wow. They start something, they fail. They start something else, they fail. They start a third thing, they fail. Then they start the 4th or 5th or whatever, and then all of a sudden, boom, it works. See, you're not failing as long as you're learning.
Right.
There's only 2 ways to fail. Either you fail and you don't learn, or you quit.
Yep.
That's it. Everything else is just a learning opportunity.
Right. Yeah. I tell people that all the time. You're not failing if you don't quit. Just keep learning, keep going. That's awesome. I'm glad that I'm on the right track and telling people the right thing that other people are doing. So can you share a specific setback or challenge that you faced during your journey?
When I was in pharmacy school, I failed a class by 2 points.
Oh.
That set me back an entire year. I lost $100,000 in salary because I had to defer for a year to become a pharmacist. I incurred an additional $40,000 in student loans because of a year.
Right.
That was not fun.
Oh, no. Man, that one hurts.
But I've still persisted. I still graduated with good grades. Just that one class set me back hard. And it shook me. It took me, because I'm not someone who fails regularly. I usually succeed. If I'm going to try something, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And usually it turns out better than not. But I failed. But I didn't let it stop me. I learned from my failure. What did I do wrong? How did this go that direction? And then I did not quit. I persisted. And then boom, now I'm a doctor.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That perseverance, that determination, it speaks volumes to your character and why you are in the position you are in and how you're going to become even more successful on whatever journeys that you take in the future. I love that.
Thanks, Ben.
What motivates you? What keeps you going? What builds that fire each and every day, week, year to keep going?
Collaboration. I love working with people.
Wow.
I love to take people or groups and elevate. My coaching that I do is a transformational coach, a transformational mentor. I'm not just like a coach, like a regular coach, like the 10X licensee that you see right here.
Uh-huh.
I don't just do regular coaching. I dig deep into who you are as a person. And we find out things that are amazing, things that are terrible, things that you need to fix, things that you need to understand, things that nobody else is looking at, psychology. And then we transform you as a person. I do the same to myself. Do you guys know who Nick Sanatasso is?
No, I haven't heard of him.
Definitely look him up. Try to get him on your podcast. He's amazing. He's a guy who was born with a rare abnormality. He has no legs. He has no right arm. He does have a left arm and like one finger. And I think he's in his mid to late 20s right now. And obviously he's had a very difficult life.
Right.
But he's transformed himself with these masters, like what's that guy's name? I can't think of his name right now. The one that Ed Milet is one of them, but the really big guy, what's his name? The motivational speaker.
Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins. He's a student of Tony Robbins, and that transformed the person, because that's what this is. This life is a journey, and the journey is about transformation. It's about evolution. Are you the same person you were a year ago?
Oh, no.
Nobody is.
Close.
No. Are you the same person you were 10 years ago?
No.
Nobody is.
No.
The people who are, those are the people who have quit. Those are the people who have failed.
Right. Yeah. 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 It's, I can't even, when I stop and think about how far I've come, even just in the year, but that 10-year mark is just completely different person. And it's crazy. Just by keep going, just keep trying and keep working. That's all
I forgot who said it. I think it might have been the owner, the inventor of Microsoft, Bill Gates. I think he's the one who said it. People often overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 10.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that. Looking back just at what I've accomplished in that 10 years, there's no way I would have thought that I could have done that back then. There's no way, so I can definitely see that being true. So, all right, Cody, how do you maintain a work-life balance while pursuing your success?
My friends know that I'm Mr. Max It Out, which I didn't know this, but Ed Milet is Max Out. So if he's a transformational coach with Max Out, I can't do transformational coach called Max It Out. At any rate, I max it out. If I'm going to work as hard as I can, as fast as I can, with as much energy and intensity, money, time, and energy into that work.
Right.
But then when it's time to play, I'm going to play with that same intensity. And when it's time to rest, I will rest with that same intensity. I will be the laziest dude you ever met.
Right. No.
So that's kind of my philosophy of how I run my life.
Right. Yeah. No, and I've heard that from my mentors, from other people, is give it your all, do everything that you need to, but what you're doing, give it your all at that time. So that is definitely.
I'm going to take what you said and I'm going to add to that. I was in the military. I was trained for special forces. Did you know that special forces trained you for one major thing? To see who's going to quit.
Oh.
Okay, that's the main thing of special forces. They try to weed out everybody who's going to quit, because I'd rather you quit here in school than quit out there in the field.
Right.
That's number one. But number two, they train you to understand that your limits are not your actual limits. You think your limit is here,
right?
But your actual limit's up here. And they train you to go all the way up to this and understand that that's your real limit.
Right.
So what you just said, go at it with intensity, but understand that you're still thinking too small. We all are. We have so much more. Our limit is so much higher than what our belief system will allow us to see.
Wow.
I'll give you a quick practical example. When I was a kid, back in high school, I was a senior year of high school. I was getting ready for the military. I was doing sit-ups to, get ready for the military.
Right.
And I wanted to see just how many sit-ups I could do. So I started doing sit-ups. I got to 80 sit-ups and my stomach was on fire.
Right.
Kept going. I got to 120 sit-ups and my stomach, I was in so much pain, I can't even describe it to you. You want to know how many sit-ups I did?
How many?
600.
Holy. Wow.
600. At 80, it hurt. At 120, it was unbearable. But I kept going.
Wow.
Then your body gets into emotion, and then it's emotion. It just keeps going. Your body is amazing. It's designed by a creator, and I'm telling you, the creation is perfect.
Wow. That is awesome. That is awesome. And I'll be honest, that's the second time this year that you've told me that I'm thinking too small. Last time was at GrowthCon, and that opened my mind to new possibilities, new thoughts. Hence the reason I'm recording this. It's, like it brought me to think even bigger. So I just have
why I tell you that you're thinking too small?
Because you are.
Because I am.
Right.
I want to hear it.
Yeah.
If you're thinking too small, I'm thinking too small.
Yep. Yeah. And we all are, just as I'm growing and getting into this and learning and seeing that, yeah, there's so much more I could do. Just keep going. Just don't quit. Don't quit. So, how do you handle the pressures or expectations that come along with success?
Depends on the pressures and expectations.
Okay.
Expectations, understand this about expectations. This is something I teach. Expectations lead to an offense.
Right.
Here's what's bad about expectations. Let's put the expectation here. If you don't meet the expectation, what happens?
You get discouraged, upset.
You become offended, and you get disappointed and discouraged. Well, let's say you surpass expectation. What happens?
Get excited, happy.
No, you don't. No. Because it's an expectation, it's already assumed that you're going to be successful in it. So when you're successful in it, it's just like, yeah, okay, no big deal.
Okay.
Okay. That's something that I show because we like to help couples, because my wife and I, we own businesses together and we work together. And that's one of the things that I've learned in that process. And we share what we learn with other people that are in business together, well, husband and wife, because they have a very high divorce rate. If you don't know the stats on that one. Yeah. So like I said, my coach, health, wealth, and relationships is husband-wife relationships is one of our main focus. But this is for any relationship. When you and this is automatic, by the way, okay? That's when it's scary. You have to understand that you're doing this without thinking about it. When you understand that, then you can change it. So you'll have an expectation. Doesn't matter what it is. You'll have an expectation with your spouse and they don't meet the expectation. Now you're offended. Now it's an argument. Why didn't you take out the trash? I expected you to take out the trash. Well, I didn't take out the trash because I was doing this, 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 and this. No big deal. But because there's an expectation that wasn't met, now there's an offense. Very, very common. Very common. But here's the double scary part. If the expectation is met, it's no big deal. Watch, same example. Oh, he took the trash out. She wouldn't even say, thank you for taking the trash out. She wouldn't say that because it's an expectation that's met.
Right. Okay.
See the power in that?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. That definitely gives me some things to think about and go over and try to be more conscientious of that.
It's very difficult, because even when you're thinking about it, that expectation will still form.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Especially in a spouse and other members that are very close to you. I call proximity fatigue.
Okay.
I mean, that sounds all technical, but if you think about it, actually, it fits proximity fatigue. Anybody knows that the way you treat your spouse is different from the way you treat your coworkers. Coworkers, you'll have a lot of patience for them. They'll mess stuff up like, oh, it's okay, buddy, let's help you out. Oh, you didn't know about this, let's teach you, let's train you. Lots and lots of patience for coworkers.
Right.
For your spouse, what do you mean you didn't do this? What do you mean, blah, blah, blah? What it is proximity fatigue. So you have to understand that that is something that's operating in the background. And when you see it, you can make appropriate behaviors to counteract it.
Right. Okay. Wow. Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. You know, you're harder on family, you know. Wow. That's a whole nother thought process right there to consider and go over and try to be more aware of. That's all right. Wow.
That's the transformational side.
Cody's dropping gems on us today. I love it. All right, Cody. Have there been any moments that you felt successful, but you weren't recognized for it?
Felt successful, wasn't recognized. Oh, very much. I'll take you back to the Air Force. This is a real story. So I'm fixing an airplane. First, let me give you some backstory. In the Air Force, you don't have what's called an A&P license. A&P is you can fix everything on the plane. In the Air Force, when you're fixing jets, you focus on a very small piece of the plane, right? So this guy will focus on like the autopilot. This guy will focus on the engines. This guy will focus on the hydraulics. You with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was focused on this one over here, and somebody else was focused on this. Not a problem. I went to go work with this guy. So I'm not doing my job. I'm actually helping him with his job. You following me so far?
Yep.
Okay. So night shift, accidentally, this is on an engine. Night shift, there's 3 wires going into a cannon plug on an engine. They got the 3 wires mixed up.
Okay.
No big deal. You take a tool, you pop it in, you undo it, you put it back in its proper place. You're done. Simple. The problem is we couldn't get it fixed. He and I. He was trying to fix it. He couldn't. I couldn't fix it. I didn't know how to fix it. I mean, it would not work. We could not get the pin to unseat, to flip it and reseat. So he gave up. And what he did is he was going to go into the command module and say, hey, you know, we're going to have to replace that entire cannon plug. That wire cost about $2,000 and takes about 16 man hours to change.
Wow.
Okay. So for me, remember, I'm kind of stubborn. I'm hard-headed. So I got a task. I got to keep going until this is figured out.
Right.
So I'm thinking, well, how can I fix this? I don't know. So I'm going to go talk to somebody who does. So I go to my mentor. Hey, mentor, this is the problem. What do we do? And my mentor is like, I don't know, but I know somebody who does. So he took me to the Lockheed engineers that were on the Air Force base. I didn't even know that they were there.
Wow.
So I walk into the engineers bay and I'm like, what's this? And they say, okay, what's your problem? I explained to the problem. The guy looked at me, smiled, picked up a suitcase. It looked like James Bond, right? Like a suitcase that's hard. Picked up a suitcase, like, take me to the plane. Drove him to the plane. He takes out, I mean, he opens this thing. There's like 200 tools in it, man. It's crazy. He opens this thing. He pops out this one tool, goes, boop, boop, done, finished. A minute, maybe a minute and a half.
Right.
I'm like, oh, this is great. In fact, now I'm going to go the extra mile here. Not only did I fix the plane, that wasn't my job to do, but I'm also going to get the part number of that tool because clearly our squadron doesn't have that tool. So now I'm going to get that tool so we don't have this problem in the future.
Right.
That seems pretty good, right?
Sounds good to me.
I walked back to my squadron, all excited that I fixed the plane. I saved $2,000 and 16 man hours of work, and the plane is now mission ready. It didn't have to sit overnight, so it can fly now. You know what happened when I walked in? my supervisors gave me a letter of counseling, LOC, because I missed the homosexual briefing that was mandatory.
Oh my. Okay.
So I missed a mandatory meeting because I was actually fixing a plane in real life that wasn't even part of my job. And I don't get anything for it. In fact, I get a letter of counseling and I had to work the weekend shift because that's my punishment.
Wow. Oh man. Yeah, that one's
What's
frustrating.
that old phrase? No good deed goes unpunished.
Yep. Yep. That is true. That's all right. Yeah, no, I can definitely see that being a successful moment in your life and not getting recognition. Wow. That's the military for you though.
That's the military.
They're very strict on that, I guess. So well, at least you learned something from that experience. You know, you probably learned quite a few little things from that, but
Right. Because remember, goes back to this is kind of going full circle now where we go back to the beginning of the conversation. If you don't learn, you fail.
yeah.
So I didn't fail there. I learned that for the military, the bureaucratic things are more important than the actual problems.
Right.
So do the bureaucratic things. If they tell you to go to a meeting, go to the meeting.
Yep.
Let the plane burn to the ground. It's fine.
It's fine.
But you have to know your environment. You have to know the expectations of the people that you're working with, your superiors.
Right. Right. Wow. Yeah, I would have done the same thing though. I would have kept going and I would have fixed the plane and done what I had to and solved the problem.
And that's why you're going the path to billionaire.
Yeah. Yep. I'm learning all I can while I can. All right, Cody. How do you deal with pressures and expectations that come along with this journey?
You broke up. Repeat the question.
How do you deal with the pressure and expectations that come along with your journey to success?
Pressures and expectations. I'm my own worst enemy. So usually the expectations are my own expectations that I put on myself.
Okay.
That will work against you. For all you type A personalities out there who can relate to that, understand that you're judging yourself too harshly. Know who you are as a person. What are you? At the core, who are you? Before you just start passing judgment on yourself saying, oh, you're not successful because you haven't made $1 million by the time you're 30, or because you didn't retire by the time you're 40, or whatever it is. So those expectations for me is usually my expectations. Other people's expectations, I usually meet them. My own expectations, I usually don't.
Okay.
Now, what was the first part of the question? Expectations and
pressure.
Pressures.
Yeah.
Pressures. I have a personality type that does better under pressures. I'll give you another example. I was fixing planes. This time I was out of the military and I was fixing planes civilian side. Okay. So I'll give you an example of what a day looks like. I wake up in Houston at the hotel, go fix a plane in Houston, jump on a plane, fly to Ohio, Toledo, Ohio, jump off the plane, fix a plane there, jump on another plane, fly out to Sacramento, fix a plane there, jump back on a plane, fly back to Ohio and fix a plane there, all in one day.
Wow.
Those were long days, bro.
Yeah.
But for me, the pressure was I was a traveling aircraft mechanic, okay? Or technically a traveling aircraft electrician. So the plane had to break and nobody that's there can fix it before I get called out.
Okay.
So that means I'm coming into an already high pressure situation. Right. Because the people there couldn't fix it, and now they're having to spend money and time and resources to get me out there to fix it. Me and my team, not just me and my team.
Right. Wow. Yeah, that's definitely a high pressure situation. That's
every night that plane didn't fly cost the company $250,000.
Wow. Yeah.
I would show up sometimes at 4. Me and my team would show up at 4 o'clock in the morning. The plane had to leave at 6 o'clock in the morning. We have 6 hours of work and can only do it in 2 hours.
Wow. Yeah, that's stressful. That's high pressure.
Without making mistakes. It's airplanes. Everything has to be done properly. Everything has to be done by the book. So we would do an immense amount of work by the book and just compress time. And the only way that you could really do that is if you are able to work under pressure.
Right. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a test of character right there, to be able to, one, do that job at that level, to be called in to multiple states, but to be able to come in and do it in such a shortened time frame. That's definitely a stressful, high stress situation for you.
The whole team would, after it wouldn't take very long before the whole team would kind of treat each other like family. You know what I mean?
Right.
That
Yeah.
proximity fatigue.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll definitely break some barriers right there for sure. It's not a regular working environment. All right, Cody, have you made any difficult decisions or sacrifices on your path to success?
Here's one. I just left my industry of being a pharmacist.
Okay.
That was an extraordinarily difficult decision.
Right.
Extraordinarily difficult. And here's why. Even though I own businesses, I am a pharmacist. That was my identity for 20 years.
Right.
Well, 15 years.
Right.
So for me to transition out of that, oh man, that's a whole different topic. But that was incredibly difficult. But I made the decision because I believed in the team of my wife and myself and the people that we're surrounding ourselves with and affiliating with and collaborating with.
Right. Yeah. But to
Now,
change
this is still
crazy.
This is still early in the game, right?
Right.
I'm not a billionaire. I'm not a millionaire. This is still early in the game, but it's a game that I can see being a very rewarding future. Because remember, everything is not about money.
No. Right. That is true.
But money's important. Money is a tool.
Right. Right. You can do so much more, help so many more people if you have the more money. It's just, it is what it is. It's
If you're paying bills and only paying bills, how can you help somebody else?
Exactly.
If you're living paycheck to paycheck, how can you help someone else?
Right.
And there are so many worthy causes. I just got back from a conference this weekend, some real estate guys. Oh, that's one of my big things. I love real estate. Just got back from a conference from a bunch of real estate investors. The guy who is hosting the conference, what he does is he buys wheelchairs with an organization called, let me see, Chair. Oh, I'm gonna forget it. It starts with chair, and it's a play on words. I can't remember the rest of it. Share the love. Share the love, but it's called Chair the Love.
Okay.
Okay, Chair the Love. And what it is people like us buy wheelchairs, and we buy them for people in other countries like Honduras, Venezuela, these places that literally the people that are not mobile, that are not ambulatory, they have to be carried. I mean, this is third world country stuff. This is not America. This is third world country stuff. So they have to be carried anywhere that they want to go. So now you're getting about 6, 7 people that will rotate in carrying their family member.
Wow.
When you throw a wheelchair in there, not only do you give this person mobility, self-mobility, but you also relieve the burden of the other friends and family members from carrying this person. It's transformative. You're not just transforming I'm getting goosebumps. You're not just transforming a person, you're transforming the immediate community to that person, which in turn transforms a small aggregate of the community of that person. So it's incredibly powerful. Wow. And if you can't buy a wheelchair for yourself, how can you buy a wheelchair for somebody else?
Somebody else, right?
That's one example. There's thousands.
Wow.
The point is, let's be active. Okay, let's be active. Let's collaborate. Let's work on things. Not just me and you, but the listeners. Let's all work together to raise the group so we can make more money and understand that money is not the end result.
Right.
Money's just a tool. And then we're going to exercise that tool to help people who do not have access to that tool.
Right. I love that. That is awesome. That I never even thought about, other countries not having something as simple as a wheelchair. Like it's because my mom just recently got a wheelchair that she uses off and on, and I couldn't even imagine having to carry her to and from places like that. Wow. That is awesome to hear that other people are doing that, and a specific category or group like that, like something that most people wouldn't even consider to be an issue, because most people here just goes and gets it from insurance or whatever, and they're able to have access to that. So
here in America, we don't understand how blessed we are.
right.
We don't.
No.
And that's why you have so many immigrants. They come chasing the American dream. But this is what's happened. Now, we're about to get ugly real quick, okay? You okay with that?
Yeah, let's go.
The worst possible thing that you can be is entitled.
True.
The reason that that's the worst is because it goes back to expectation. If it's not met, it's terrible. If it is met, it's just met.
Right.
Entitlement is what's destroying our fabric of society. And I'm not just talking about a specific people's groups. No, this is America. I'll prove the point. Another story. I'm a pharmacist. I worked at two pharmacies that are diametrically opposed to each other. One was in the hood. I'm talking about in the hood, bullet holes in the building, the whole nine. The thing that I saw there with that people group they were entitled. Okay. Now let's go to the other side. The other job, the next job, was in the rich neighborhood where the old money was, the retired people. Mm-hmm. Guess what? They were no different than these people. They both had entitlement as their primary motive to operate.
Right. Wow.
Worst thing you can be. And here in America, guess what we are?
Entitled.
We're entitled. How dare you? I ordered this steak medium rare. This is medium. How dare you? Et cetera, et cetera. That's called first world problems. And we've all seen those comical things, right? First world problems versus third world.
Right.
Okay. Here's the reality. America's population is about this big. World's population is about that big. This many people have access to success. Anybody in America can become a millionaire. Anybody.
Right.
Okay. Sure. Doesn't mean everybody will, but anybody could.
Yep.
In the world, almost nobody can. Almost nobody. When I'm telling you how these countries in South America, they don't have access to wheelchairs, that's one small example. That's the standard. As a whole, the average does not have access to a wheelchair or another luxury that we don't see as a luxury. We see it as an expectation. If I'm not mobile, clearly I'm going to have a wheelchair. Right. In fact, I'm probably going to have one that has a little electric motor. I can go golfing on it.
Right.
These other countries, nothing. That's the standard. That's the world standard. We're living in America. It is the best country on earth, hands down, no question asked. It's deteriorating, but it's still the best country.
True. Very true. It is the best country. It is having its issues right now. It is having ups and downs, but it's still what we get, what what freedoms and what we get to enjoy here, yeah, I wouldn't change it for anything, like I don't always agree, but that's the joy about America is we don't have to agree with everything. We have that choice not to, and it's okay not to agree with people, and you can still
Yes.
get along with them and still talk and still collaborate, even if you don't get along with everything that they say.
Yes, because we don't even get along with ourselves.
Right.
Ourselves. We'll argue with ourselves. So if we're going to argue with ourselves, clearly we're going to argue with other people.
Very true. Yeah, I never even thought about that. I have arguments with myself. Yeah, so why wouldn't I argue with other people? Yeah. Very true. Awesome. I love that. Another way for me to view things and think about things. So, all right, Cody. How do you measure your progress towards your goals?
That's a good one. Grant Cardone teaches. Remember, I'm a student at Grant Cardone. He's an exceptional teacher. You measure it in two ways: goals and targets, goals and targets, goals and targets. Every day you write down your goals. Every day you write down your targets that pertain to your goals. And then you structure your day with the targets and goals in mind. And you do it every day. So you have a very, very black and white expectation of what you're going to do and when, because it's not a goal if it doesn't have a timeline.
Right.
It's a dream. I don't want to dream.
Right. I want to be working towards something. Very true. Well, let's go right into this question then. How important do you think goal setting is?
The team at Grant Cardone's office, they're very, very highly motivated. You've been there. Wouldn't you say they're highly motivated?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They're definitely.
These guys will chase you to the bathroom. Seriously, they will follow you to the bathroom to try to get you to sign up for something.
Yes, they will.
I love it. I love it. When they stop producing, okay, when their trend line has a bump, do you know what the problem was? 80% of the cases, the problem is they stopped writing their goals and targets down 2 times a day.
Okay.
That's how important it is. See, we are a creation. We have a creator. And in the story, it tells you, hey, let's make humans. Oh, how we make them? Let's make them in our image. Well, what does that mean? I just kind of prefaced it. He's the creator. So what are we? Creators.
Okay.
I'll give you a quick example real quick. Watch this. If you take a bird who only makes nests out of mud,
Okay.
and you take another bird who only makes more traditional nests out of straw in a tree. Okay. If you take the egg from the mud bird, and you put him over here with the tree birds, he's going to grow up only knowing these people. He'll never have met a mud bird. Never. When it's time for him to make a nest, guess what kind of nest he's going to make?
Regular nest.
A mud nest.
Okay.
Without seeing it, without knowing about it, without anything, he'll make a mud nest because it's innate.
Okay.
See, they don't have the power of creation. That's kind of the big differentiator between a human and a non-human. A human, you're unlimited in your creation. You literally create your life. If your life sucks, it's probably because you created it to suck.
Right.
Here's a quick example. You have a person that's not fat, right? They're not fat. And all they say is, oh, I'm so fat. And they're doing it to kind of fit in, right? They're self-conscious, like, oh, I'm so fat. I need to lose a little weight. And everybody around them's like, no, you're not fat. You're not. In fact, you need to eat a little extra.
Right.
What happens with time? They get fat.
Fat, right.
Why did they get fat? because they claimed it for so long that it became part of their identity.
Right. They just ingrained that.
We are creators. We create amazing things and we create terrible things. We are creators. In order for you to be a creator, the power is you write it down. Don't type it, write it and speak it. When you write it and speak it, for some strange reason, it works. Right. I'll do a pertinent example right now. I had just finished a training. This is recent. It's like 2-3 weeks ago. I just finished a training about goals and targets with the Grant Cardone team. Finished the training. So I wrote down a goal. I'm going to sign this contract today. And I knew I had that meeting. So I went to the meeting and I signed the contract. But it was after I wrote it down. I will sign the contract today, period. And lo and behold, walked in, it was a 10-minute meeting, signed the contract on 2 businesses at 1 meeting.
Nice. Very nice.
Write down your goals, create your destiny.
Yep. Yep. Speak it into existence. Keep your thoughts positive, and you will achieve those goals. And I love it.
There's so many stories. There's guys who are super successful. They would like take a picture of a house that they really wanted, put the picture of the house on the wall as motivation to work, because make no mistake, making money, earning money takes a lot of effort.
Right.
So you need to have the why of why you're doing whatever you're doing to become successful. So like this is one example. He had the picture on the wall of a big, fat, beautiful house. Then, you know, time elapses. The picture comes off the wall, goes into storage. Then he's digging in his storage, pulling something out because he's about to move. He sees that picture. Guess what house he's living in right now?
That house.
He was living in that house. And so much time has elapsed, he didn't even recognize, he didn't remember that that was the goal. But because that was the goal, that was the vision, it came into reality.
Right.
That's how important it is.
Wow. Yeah, I just got goosebumps from that. That's awesome. Yeah. Goals are very important. That's setting them, revisiting them as often as you can.
Every day.
It's
a discipline.
Right.
Every day.
Exactly. It's a discipline. You hit those times where you feel like you failed or struggled, go back to those goals, rewrite them, re-say them, do something, bring that back to the forefront. It helps.
100%.
It helps.
100%.
How do you handle competition or comparison on your path to success?
I don't compete.
Good. Very good.
I dominate.
I love it.
And here's the beauty. I don't have to be the number one person. I don't have to have everybody come to me. I can be the best, but I don't have to get everybody to come to me. Right. There's enough work for us to share. Yep. If you want to work with me, great. Let's work together. If everything lines up, we'll work together and it'll be awesome. Right. If you don't want to work with me, great. Go work with somebody else. That's awesome. That's the beauty of it. You're not in competition. We think so much. We bang our heads into the wall. Have you ever read the book, The Blue Ocean Strategy?
No, that is actually on my list to read.
In a nutshell, we focus so hard to compete that we forget our identity. I'll give you another story. Apple, Microsoft. When Apple had come up with the iPad, it was an amazing piece of technology. Microsoft scrambled and said, how can we beat Apple? That's called an infinite and a finite competitor. Oh, well, that's deep. We'll get to that a different day. So the finite competitor is actually, let's go delve into it. You got time?
I got time.
Let's delve into it a second. Okay, a finite game is something that all the rules are known. The life cycle of the game is known. For example, play chess. You know that when you put the king in checkmate, the game is done.
Correct.
Play baseball. You know, after 9 innings, unless it's a tie, after 9 innings, the game's done.
Correct.
These are finite games. Infinite games don't have that same life cycle. Their life cycle is different. Their life cycle is how can we persist into the future? That's extremely heavy, by the way. So Microsoft and Apple, the guy who I know, this isn't my story, this is somebody else's story. The guy I know was talking at Microsoft. They gave him a Zune, which was like the greatest iPod ever. It was amazing. It was the iPod perfected, right? Beautiful, cognitive. It just, everything about it was magnificent. And when the guy went to Apple to go do a speech there, he's with Apple, and he kind of touted the Apple guys like, hey, you know, I just got a hold of the Zune and it's amazing. And the Apple guy, you know what he said? He said, I have no doubt. What?
Yeah.
He's not trying to compete.
Right.
His game is to persist, not to compete.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. Wow.
You should do an entire show just on that one thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
because that would change so many people. Everybody's banging their head against the wall trying to compete. You don't have to. Just persist.
Just persist. Yeah. I look at other people not out of competition, but to learn, to gain more knowledge. Because if you can't learn from what other people are doing, their mistakes, triumphs, wins, you're in for a long road. You're gonna make so many extra mistakes that you don't need to make. It's just so much more time consuming. So that is awesome. I'll definitely have to look into doing an episode on that and bring that to light for more people.
Don't compete, collaborate.
Collaborate.
There's more than enough work to go around.
Correct. Collaboration is huge. You know, we need people. We need, you know, like you said, Grant Cardone says your net worth is your network. So the more people you have, the more people you know, the bigger you can get, the more you can grow. Whatever your goal is, it's a lot easier to achieve those goals with that.
Absolutely. It compresses time.
Yes, exactly. All right, Cody, what advice would you give to somebody that's just starting out on their journey?
Find a mentor that's in your industry that you trust, that you know, like, and trust. Find that mentor and consume and apply everything that they have. Because if you just consume it, you're doing nothing except being entertained.
Right.
You have to apply the knowledge that you're ascertaining and make a goal. Apply one thing every week. So learn something, and that week focus on applying whatever it is that you learned.
Right.
Do it. Then the next week, again. Then the next week, again. The next week, again. So when you're starting out from the beginning, find a mentor, learn from your mentor, apply the knowledge.
Right.
And understand that success does not come quick.
Right.
You will have to persist.
Right. Long game that you have to continually work at. But I love that. Not just gain knowledge, not just learning, but you have to put it into practice, apply it, and utilize what you're learning. That I think people miss that step. They think that there's this quick, easy way of doing things, and if you watch one seminar, you're going to be proficient at it, but that's not the way it works. You're just gaining some knowledge.
Excuse me. At one seminar, you've only begun to understand.
Right.
Like you opened the door.
Yes.
And you kind of see into the room, and you're looking around the room like, oh, I see this room. You don't know what's in the room.
Right. Right.
There's so much, any industry you do has so much nuances and so many little things that if you don't know will hurt you. Remember, you don't know what you don't know.
Right. Exactly.
That's heavy. Know
heavy.
as much as you can. You'll never know it all. Know as much as you can about your particular industry and be persistent. Yes. Write your goals down, write your targets down, adjust your day to match those goals and targets.
Very good. I love that. I love that. Has your success brought you the fulfillment that you were expecting?
Now let's go back to the beginning. Let's do some full circle stuff. What's the definition of success? By my definition, because I'm so hard on myself, I haven't achieved success yet. Right. And until I change my mindset, I'll never achieve success. Never. Because it's elusive. It's what you said at the very beginning. It's a journey, not a destination. Right. Success is not a destination. Success is a journey. Yes. And here's where I'm successful in. I have a wife of 9 years. She loves me. I have a daughter of 4 years. She loves me. We have a beautiful relationship and a beautiful family. It's not perfect, and it never will be. Perfection is unattainable. But the fact that I have a family who I support and supports me, and we collaborate, is absolutely amazing.
Yes.
Money in the bank does not translate to that. That is more priceless than money.
Right. Wow. That's huge. That's huge. Like, no matter what, you can't replace your family with any possession, money, anything like that. So
not at all.
I love that.
There are so many businessmen that I'm affiliated with, so many. Their kids are on drugs or alcoholics, whatever. And it's because the businessman was chasing success. His perspective of success, right, that was wrong. And he got the 1 million, and then he would get the 2 million. And it's an elusive target. Success is a mistress. She's elusive. Right. You have to understand that you cannot trust her. You have to focus on what you can trust. And here's what I can tell you. Health, wealth, and relationships. That's the 3 things that I teach. Which one's the most important? Well, it depends on who you ask, right?
Right, right.
Okay. Well, let's do a little quick scenario. Let's say wealth is the most important because most people are chasing wealth. They believe wealth is success.
True.
Here's a scenario. Of the 3, you got wealth. Watch. There's a 44-year-old who's driving his Ferrari right now, has a heart attack. He has 3 ex-wives at 44. He has 4 children. Has a heart attack, gets transported to the emergency room. In the emergency room, nobody comes to visit him. When he's admitted to the hospital, nobody comes to say hi. Eventually, one of his wives, ex-wives, comes just to see how he's doing. Like, okay, he's okay. It's because she's a good woman. Okay, he's okay. And she leaves. So in that scenario, he has wealth, but he's missing health and relationships.
Right.
So right there, you can look and you can clearly see that wealth is not the ticket.
Right.
Okay. Let's try health. Now the guy has health. He's 92 years old, right? Perfectly healthy, perfect blood pressure, perfect everything. No doctor can understand it. He's still mobile. He still lives by himself at the house, all of that. But he's poor and he doesn't have relationships. He's 92 years old. Nobody comes to visit him. No friends, no family, no community, but he has health. Okay. Does that seem like a good deal? No. Okay. We're 0 for 2 so far. Let's look at the last one. Let's look at relationships. Here's the example. 38-year-old woman. 38-year-old woman has cancer, which means she doesn't have health. She's living paycheck to paycheck like most Americans, which means she doesn't have wealth, but she has relationships. While she's in the hospital getting all this treatment, the whole community comes to see her. Friends, family, cousins, aunts and uncles, next door neighbors. Who hangs out with their next door neighbor anymore? Next door neighbors come to visit. People down the block come to say hi in the hospital. Her church sends flowers and all this stuff. Now, how does that sound?
That sounds amazing.
Exactly. Health, wealth, and relationships are the three most important pillars of your life. And by far, relationships is the most important one.
Yes. Wow. That analogy is spot on. I love the way that you broke it down, and to get people to see the bigger picture that, yeah, money is great. Money can give you stuff, but it can't give you that relationship with people. It can't give you, it can buy time, but it just,
Can't buy time.
Right. Right. You're only given
What's
so
the guy?
Right.
What's the inventor of Apple? Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, yeah.
Where's he at right now?
No longer here.
It's no longer here.
No.
How much money does he have?
None. Well, I don't know what his estate's worth, but
at that point in time,
right.
How much money did he have? Plenty, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. More than enough.
How much time did it buy him?
None. None. No.
Money does not buy time in that way. Money does buy time in other ways.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
The triangle of service industry, you can have it cheap, you can have it fast, and you can have it quality, but you can only pick two.
Yep. Right.
If you want it cheap and quality, it's going to take an enormous amount of time.
Yep.
If you want it fast and quality, it's going to take an enormous amount of money.
True.
There you go.
Very true. All right. Wow. Awesome. Great thoughts right there. Definitely. All right, Cody, last question I got for you here. How do you celebrate your journey that you've been on so far towards your success?
Because I did not have the proper perspective on success, because I'm so hard on myself and I'm always pushing myself, I'm having to transform myself to understand how to celebrate. See, it's very hard for me. I'm a perfectionist. So if I do 100 things, 99 are right, one is wrong, I will focus on the wrong. Yeah. And that is a common thing. That's very normal. A lot of people listening to this will be able to relate to that. For example, when you go talk to any successful person, ask them their most memorable memory, and it won't be a success. It'll be a failure.
Right.
Failure is what sticks in your brain. Because you're supposed to learn from it. See, success is a horrible teacher. Now, I say that, and the flip side of that is look at success and emulate it, because success leaves clues. So it's a great teacher, but at the same time, it's a horrible teacher. Watch, we'll throw a quick example out there. Somebody opens a business. They started a fidget spinner business. And they started a fidget spinner business at the very beginning of fidget spinners, before anybody in America even knew what fidget spinners were.
Right.
So the timing was perfect. So they don't know anything about business, nothing about business, but they were super successful because they got the timing right.
Right.
Well, then of course, fidget spinners decreases, but now the guy's going to open a different business and he's not as successful. Why? Because he didn't learn.
Right.
He didn't fail to learn. All he did was he accidentally got it right.
Right.
Here's a statistic for you. Did you know that the average year span until bankruptcy for lotto winners, people who make millions of dollars in the lottery, it's 5 years?
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
5 years.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic all on its own.
Yeah. That That's a hard statistic to wrap your head around, just the amount of money that some of these people just go through. But when you don't know, you're not going to know how to invest, spend wisely. You're going to buy all the stuff that you wanted, this and that, and all the shiny stuff. And yeah,
all the stuff that you're pre-programmed to think you want.
right.
Hey, baby girl, my family's here. Hi. Hey, baby.
All right, Cody. Well, that was the end of the questions that I had for you. Is there anything else that you would like to discuss or bring up?
No, I think we went over a lot of topics.
I do too. I definitely appreciate it. It was very mind expanding and opening, gives me a lot to think about. I look forward to getting back to the replay, taking some notes, and diving into some more of this in depth. Would you like to share any socials or any contact information if anybody would like to reach out to you in the future?
Surely. The one piece of contact information I'm going to give it to you. It's that QR code.
Okay.
That QR code is going to take you to a landing page. And that landing page, you give me your email and phone number, and we set up a call.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. I will have that in the show notes, so that way everybody can reach out to you and see if they can work with you in the future, collaborate with you, see how it all looks and works out. And I definitely appreciate you taking the time.
I own a social media marketing company, but I don't do social media very much.
Okay.
I think my handle on Instagram is Cody Max It Out. Okay. Or at Cody Max It Out.
Okay. Awesome. Then we will get that in
but
there as well.
Don't try to send me a message on there. I don't check it very often.
Okay, I won't get it. So the QR code's the best way to reach you then. So awesome.
QR code gets you in contact with me, and then once we reach a certain level, you get my personal phone number.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. I really appreciate it, Cody. It was very great talking to you again. I look forward to speaking again in the future and hopefully collaborating on some sort of project for between the two of us.
All right, Ben. Look forward to it, buddy.
All right, bud. Have a good one.
Thank you. You take care.
You too.